Hey guys, Infamous AP, wow. Infamous AT back with Truth is Vids. This week's topic is about the Kony 2012. Um, I watched the video the other day and I've talked to a lot of people about it and gotten different opinions. And I guess the big thing is if the company or the organization itself is legitimate is a big question. There's been some hearsay that Kony is no longer a threat, no longer an issue. My perspective on it in two different things. While the organization response, my thing is, okay, the whole purpose of this organization is to keep Kony relevant. So I can understand that a lot of the money is going to them. It's unfortunate. You would think that they'd want to help out these people, but they're doing it in their own way. It's a different way of helping them. They're not necessarily donating the charity. This is what I'm getting from different sources, but they're not necessarily donating to help the kids. They're more or less trying to catch Kony and make Kony the issue, which he is. So a lot of it goes into filmmaking and publicizing and traveling. So I guess I understand why a big chunk of the money is being reinfused with the actual organization in that perspective. I like the concept of making Kony a celebrity and putting him on the front pages and keeping him relevant because people do forget. So I do think the concept of what Kony2012 is doing or Invisible Children is doing is amazing and very well thought out and nice. Like it's pretty cool. I've never seen anything like that. As for Kony being relevant, they're saying, oh, well, Kony's changed and he's not the same person and he's not that big a deal. At some point, he was the biggest threat in the country, whether he still is or not, or biggest threat in the world. Whether he still is or is not, he was still a threat. A rapist rape. Just because they rape once doesn't mean that because they don't rape now doesn't mean that they didn't rape once. They still committed a horrendous crime. They did something bad. And they need to be brought to justice for that. And for how long that he went on doing it to just stop now doesn't matter. He still was a bad person who did bad things. I haven't donated, so to speak, or given anything to the organization. I did print out some flyers and posted them around my school. I'm going to put one on my door because I believe in the cause, which is that someone who does something like that needs to be ostracized. He needs to be put out on the front page, and he needs to be brought to justice. It's not right. And because Africa goes through so much, if we could accomplish something like this, I feel like it would be good. I know a lot of American people just don't like the idea of sticking our nose in another country's, dirty laundry, which sucks. People want to have a bleeding heart. They want to care, and I don't see that being a crime. I don't see caring being a crime, especially for kids, for children, young men, young women, young girls who have all the potential just like any other child in any other country. I don't think it's fair. So whether it's Kony or someone else, my concern is what's being done for those kids, not so much that are running away, but those kids that have been in it their whole lives and don't know anything else. What happens to them? That's my real concern. Again, Kony can get captured and everyone's going to be excited. What's going to be put in place for those soldiers that he's trained those women that he's raped, and that's all they know. That's all they've been accustomed to. That's what their life has been surrounded by for so many years. What happens to them? What happens to the families that don't find their children, whose kids were killed, whose parents were killed? Where do you put these displaced people? I think the whole situation is sad, and the reality is there's a criminal in every country, in every city. There is doing horrendous things, and they don't necessarily have to be making child soldiers to be a horrible person. They can be somebody's father, stepfather, mother, teacher. They can be just people who, for whatever reason, see themselves as being superior over everyone else and causing serious harm, not only to the psyche of a child, but to the emotional level of a child. Their development is completely warped. So, again, to sound so cliche, but in the name of the children, I do think something should be done.